News and information 570 AM.
96.3 FM HD2. KLIF Dallas. KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth. KLIF.com.
A Cumulus station.
The following program is furnished by K1 International LLC and is responsible for its content. Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. How we doing on a Sunday morning? Hey, happy Easter, folks out there. Hope all the kids are having fun, doing a little Easter egg hunting, and everybody's remembering what the day's all about as well, and everybody's with family and having a good day and going to enjoy a great day. So I hope the weather's going to hold out for us and be great for us today. So happy Easter out there. And, well, guess what, folks? We are here live every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. We're talking a little real estate, a little mortgage, a little sports entertainment maybe, and a little insurance and all kinds of good stuff. So come on in and stay a while. Hey, the website's InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. And by the way, you know, I am your local Dallas-Fort Worth area realtor. And, hey, folks, what I do is I help folks buy and sell real estate. So, you know, I don't sell CDs. I'm not on air to pat myself on the back like a lot of the folks on talk radio just like to hear themselves talk. I have a sports marketing background, worked with a lot of big-time clients such as the NBA and Coke and a lot of big folks like that. And so guess what? That's gives me a lot of great experience to be able to help those sellers out there market and sell their homes. And, of course, I happen to have a lot of great experience in construction and whatnot when I was a kid. And so I really know building materials. And so I'm really great with the buyers, too. So you know what? If you're hearing us out there and every Sunday or you've caught us on the YouTube, well, and you know somebody that needs help in real estate, well, you know, have them tune in or click on over to InsideRealEstateRadio.com. That's where my cell phone number is, and give me a buzz because I'd be happy to help you out and get you taken care of with your real estate needs. So let's get on into the show. Let's see what's going on. By the way, if you want to give us a shout, 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF. Hey, if you are planning to do a little bit of searching for some real estate, I might add that you should download our app. In both Droid or Apple, you can bounce over to DFW Metroplex Real Estate and just download that. And one of the best apps, really clean, not a lot of ads or anything like that to mess you up. And then, of course, we've got our Pinterest page. It's got all of our articles that we talk about, and then Facebook and all those other ones as well. So lots of good stuff there. Hey, here's what we're doing today. Coming up next, we're going to be talking mortgage talk with Terry Wagner, and we're going to be talking about repair escrow, which is something that we don't see a lot of these days, but we're going to talk about that because it still does come up, and it's still something we can do there for some clients in some situations. So we're going to talk about that. And at the end of the show, and what I'm really excited about is we've got a 6A state basketball champions boys side head coach Chris Dyer over at DeSoto, and is calling in, and he's a multi-time state champion, by the way. One heck of a coaching career. This guy's been in it for several decades, and he has been at it, and he's been around. You probably know the name, Chris Dyer, head coach DeSoto. Going to be calling into the show a little bit later on, and we're really excited for a chance to talk to him about the state championship, and especially appreciative of him calling in on Easter Sunday as well, and that's really huge for him to sacrifice and call in and spend a little time with us. So we're excited about that, and we appreciate it as well. Folks, I want to mention all of our partners. You know, we're here coming to you live every Sunday, and in part because of our sponsors of the show and our partners that we work with in the industry. Of course, RockyMartin.com, Supreme Lending Rockwall, our exclusive lender that we work with, the best in the business. And the folks that we do work with, we make it kind of like a no-brainer so that you can work with them, and so that it's easy. It's an easy decision for you. We don't force anybody on you when we're working with our clients. We just like to present, our partners to you, and by and large, they are head and shoulders above the rest, and that's why we like working with them. Of course, insurance, J.C. Harder of the J.C. Harder Goosehead Insurance brand, and the jcharderagency.com website. Our exclusive flooring partner, idealfloors.com. Great folks, great folks. They have an amazing program. Ideal Floors gives back, and so big contributors in the community. And then, of course, Foundation Repair, which is a huge part of our lives here in the DFW area just because of our geographic location and the fact that our homes just move. They just do. Permapier.com, Permapier Foundation Repair of Texas, and huge partners for us. So don't forget our partners out there as well. And, of course, you can always reach them through our website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Before we get going a little further here, we always like to do a little bit of this day in history. And it was a little bit thin. But let's go on back in time here. How about let's go back to 1939. Of course, we're in the midst of March Madness right now. So this works out. 1939, the first NCAA men's basketball championship, as a matter of fact, this day in history. And who it was Oregon over Ohio State, 46-33, low-scoring game. Of course, back then that might have been a high-scoring game. We don't see too much of that anymore, on occasion maybe. But 1939, first NCAA men's basketball championship. Hey, 1942, Joe Louis knocks out Abe Simone in 6. He keeps this title. That's 1942. 1958, Khrushchev becomes the Soviet premier. 1979, Supreme Court said 8-1, almost unanimous. Hey, police out there, you can't just randomly stop cars. That was back in 1979. I'm not sure they've got the memo on that yet quite everywhere, but 1979, that's what they said. Hey, 1995, Forrest Gump, one of my favorite all-time movies. Tom Hanks wins the award for Forrest Gump. Good old Tom Hanks. And Forrest Gump, great, as a matter of fact, a great soundtrack. And I actually have that soundtrack. Of course, I have it in cassette, though. And so I haven't heard it in a long time since I don't have a cassette player anymore. But anyway, folks, that was this day in history back in time, March 27. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to come on back. It's Inside Real Estate, Mike Kruizinga. With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to Permapier Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of Permapier Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling Permapier at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapier.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. It's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. It's time for another mortgage segment. Folks, website's InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Terry Wagner's here live in studio with us. Phone number where you can always reach these folks, 866-607-5667. And, of course, the website, RockyMartin.com, RockyMartin.com. That's Rocky with an I-E. Terry, how's it going?
Good morning, Mike. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm excellent.
Good.
So let's get in some mortgage talk talk today? What's going on in the mortgage world?
Well, I thought we would talk about repair escrows. That's a little bit different than what we've talked about the other programs where you can do rehab on loan. Repair escrow, we actually had a customer not too long ago that considered doing a repair escrow. So I thought maybe we'd talk about that today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Repair escrow is basically just that. It's holding a portion of the loan proceeds in an escrow account, typically at the title company, for repairs, for approved repairs that are going to be completed after the loan closes and funds. But the kicker is it has to be completed within 10 calendar days after closing and funding. So it can't be some huge repair project that you have. If you've got something like that, we'll have to flip that over to the rehab loans. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I thought I'd just kind of go over a couple of things that apply to this type of loan. It goes for any repair that is between $500 and $5,000. So if you get bids and it's more than $5,000, you can't do the repair escrow. You have to convert it then to the rehab loan. If it's something way small and not even at a cost of $500, don't bother with the repair escrow. Just take care of that after you move into the home. Mm-hmm. But if, let's say, for instance, you want flooring, maybe the floors don't have to be done. You just don't like them.
Right.
You can put that in a repair escrow. And it's kind of tricky. The buyer or the seller can put those funds in the repair escrow. But let's say the seller says, no, the floors are here. You can put it in if you want. Right. But the seller wants to do that. If the house is going to appraise for maybe a little bit more than what the sales price is, let's say they decide, a couple of weeks into the process that they want to change the floors. We've already got the appraisal in, all that good stuff, and it came in a little higher than what the sales price was. They can go ahead and make those changes, and we can roll that sales price up and include that in the loan itself. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what will happen is you have to get 2 itemized bids from 2 separate companies. They have to be, Mike, I know this is silly that I'm saying this, but they have to be realistic bids. They have to be real bids. They can't be made up companies. Believe it or not, I've had a customer that did that before and got upset with me because we actually verified that it wasn't real.
It's a legit company.
So it has to be a legit bid that we're turning into the underwriters.
Right.
The contractors that are doing the work, we need a W-9 from them. We need, there's an escrow holdback agreement that everyone has to sign. We'll need that. Obviously, a copy of the sales contract, all that good stuff. Now, here's another trick to this. When we lock in the interest rate on this loan, the lock has to be held over for 15 days after closing, because remember, we're going to close and fund. Mm-hmm. Then we have to verify that the work's been done within 10 days. So we need an extra 15 days on that lock after we close for it to be good.
Okay.
Now here's the fees.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not too bad though. $300 for the admin fee, just to set up the repair escrow account. And then let's say you're doing $1,000 worth of work. We're going to put a minimum holdback of 150% of that. So $1,500 we're going to put into escrow hold, because you know as well as I do, if someone gives you $1,000 bid, it's probably going to come in a little higher than that.
Right. Go over.
So we're putting that in there to cure any of those costs. Now, the money can go back, obviously, to whoever put the funds in the escrow holdback account. Mm-hmm. Can go back to them if we don't use all that. Okay. Or you can apply it to your principal only. You can't go towards a payment, but you can apply it to your principal to reduce that. Okay. And like we said, has to be a minimum of $500 for the repairs, no more than $5,000. If it's over $5,000, we have to do a different type of loan.
And with the repair escrow, we can do this on pretty much any type of loan.
Yes.
What you're talking about on extensive repairs over $5,000 is more likely going to go to, like, say, the 203K rehab.
Right. 203K rehab is the FHA, and then there's another conventional rehab that we can do. But yeah, anything over $5,000, or also we can't do any structural foundation. So let's say it needed $2,000 worth of foundation work, which isn't really existent out there. But if that were the case, you couldn't utilize this program for that.
Okay.
You'd have to switch that to the rehab. So you cannot do structural repairs, foundation repairs. You cannot do roof replacement or any major roof repair. You can do minor, patch or whatever. You can do that. You can't do swimming pools. Major swimming pool work. Something minor, again, that's fine. But if it's major, you can't do it on the repair escrow. Okay.
So these are really good to use for mainly cosmetic, aesthetic
painting,
type.
flooring.
Yeah, painting, flooring, help it be a little more make ready. We can do some appliances on this, right?
Yes, you sure can.
Okay, but nothing major where it's going to put it into a position where, let's say it's in a position right now where it's not, let's talk about FHA, where it's not going to go FHA. And so we can't use these repair escrows to put it into.
Well, if you had something like, if you had the rotten wood that needed to be replaced or fixed, and your bid, was less than $5,000, you could do something like that.
Okay.
Because the house too has to be livable. Because when you close and fund, you should be able to move into the home.
Right.
So it can't be any safety issues that's going to keep you from living in that home. Okay. Can't be replacing windows, because you have to have windows to move in. So any repairs that will allow you to move in, we should be safe, but we'll check the guidelines, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah,
and folks, there are a lot of guidelines that go with this, but for the most part, it's going to be cosmetic, flooring, paint, maybe some trim work,
right?
A little bit of siding work, something of that nature,
right? Just
okay.
a little bit of cosmetic work that needs to be done. This is a good alternative as opposed to going to the rehab loan, because the costs for the rehab loan are a lot more than the $300 admin fee that this is going to charge you.
Okay. But you know what? You'd be surprised how you can stretch $5,000 too.
Oh, yeah.
You can throw some appliances in, maybe need a garage door opener or 2 garage door openers.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And, you can, there's lots of homes that it's not perfect. It's not the exact home that you were looking for, but like you said, maybe you just need to fix 1 or 2 things, maybe increase the outside patio area, something like that, if you want to fix up the patio area before you even get going in your new home.
Do you know if fencing is allowed on this one? Fencing repairs?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I know we have a lot of houses that are needing fence repairs.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so that
Fences
might be an
should
option
be okay.
for that.
I didn't see it in any of the guidelines when I pulled information together for today that said you couldn't do fence. So I'm sure you can.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, folks, every situation is different with every house, and so this might be another alternative, another avenue to help make it a little more the way you want it.
Right.
Let's go back and touch on the nuts and bolts of it again, as far as. I know we can obviously attempt to get the seller to cover these repairs and put these funds into a seller repair escrow for us. Now in this market, which is really hot and really tight, we're not necessarily seeing that type of flexibility, but that's certainly an avenue. What about on the buyer side?
The buyer can absolutely put the funds in themselves too.
Okay.
So that they make sure that everything's done within the confines of the actual loan itself. But yeah, the seller or the buyer can contribute the funds to the escrow account.
Okay. What about trying to come not out of pocket at all? Can we roll this on top of the loan? You
can roll it on top of the loan. You just can't increase the loan to value, if that makes sense. So like we mentioned earlier, if the home appraises for more than what your sales price is,
then we
can roll it in there.
Right.
But you can't, if you already had a 95% loan to value, you can't increase that to include the repair escrow. Okay. So yeah, if there's room in the value of the home, we can certainly do that. Okay.
So those are really those 3 options, folks. We can try to build it in if there's room, depending on the situation, and then the buyer can always contribute those funds, or the seller can as well.
And there's some of these houses out there too, Mike, that maybe have been on the market for a little bit, and in this market, that's unusual.
Yes.
So if, as a seller, your agent is talking to you about what can we do different to get your house sold, well, maybe you can market this as a possibility for a number one, a rehab loan, but not if a rehab loan, then just a repair escrow loan, so that maybe the seller is willing to kick in those funds at closing. Maybe the seller wants to put new flooring in but can't afford it.
Right.
And they've picked out the flooring, and it's coming from a company that won't allow us to get paid at closing. They want to get paid when the flooring goes in. Well, we close on the loan, they put the floors in, then they get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great option. You know, folks, we're talking about Ideal Floors, our partner of the radio show, and they allow you to get your flooring installed and take payment at closing. So that's a great option. But you're right. And honestly, I'm starting to look more with some of my clients who, you know, we've been chasing the new listings,
right?
You know, or the back on market listings that are fresh. But guess what? Everybody else is chasing those as well. So everybody's fishing in the same hole. So I'm trying to take my clients and educate them a little bit more on some of these homes that have been on the market for a little while. Maybe they've been on the market because they're a little bit older and not fully updated yet. But guess what? It's easy to remodel a kitchen. It's easy to remodel a bathroom. You know, you've got to kind of see beyond the pale a little bit there.
Right.
And there's maybe some flexibility to negotiate on price.
That's right.
Since it's been on the market a while.
I think that there's several houses out there. You know, there's a good selection of houses just like that out there that everyone is looking past because it's not that new, fresh listing that you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few reasons why a home will kind of fall into that category. Either one, it's not just fully updated and maybe it's a little bit older, or maybe it's just mismarketed. And honestly, I'll go through and I'll see some of these listings and they've got these horrible pictures that somebody shot on their own, or maybe it's a limited service listing and it's just not getting the exposure that it needs. And so, you know what? If I'm taking buyers out, those are the ones I'd like to go look at, because that's where we may not have 16 offers to compete with, like a client I had last week in Garland did. Competing with 16 offers is tough.
Wow.
You know, let's try to go find one where we can maybe actually be the only one and negotiate, you know.
Exactly.
Which is something we're not really seeing right now.
Makes it a little easier for everyone involved, I think, when you have a property like that you can.
Well, and it makes the buyers feel better when they're purchasing as well, that they're negotiating with the seller directly versus just kind of throwing a bid in, you know, on a wing and a prayer and hoping.
Well, and, you know, another point on that is, you know, as if you're a buyer and you're going in, if you're looking at homes that are just strictly completely remodeled, already done, maybe that's not your taste. Mm-hmm. So find a home that's not, you know, that's been on the market for a while, that's not that new, fresh listing, and put your own spin on it and maybe do a rehab loan or the repair escrow that we're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I think that's another great option for folks out there to think about, the repair escrow, and it certainly dovetails nicely into, you know, looking at those homes that have been on the market for a little while that maybe you're going to need those cosmetics. And the nice thing about those listings is you're probably going to be able to get a little bit better price on them anyway.
Right.
They don't have 16 offers on them.
That's right.
So, all right, folks. Well, it's been another great segment of Supreme Lending Rockwall Mortgage Talk. We've been chatting with Terry Wagner. Phone number 866-607-5667. Website RockyMartin.com. Rocky with an IE, RockyMartin.com. Folks, Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. See you in a few.
The J.C. Harder Insurance Agency in Uptown Dallas has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the J.C. Harder Insurance Agency Network. For a quote today on all your insurance needs, stop by J.C.'s office on McKinney Avenue in Uptown Dallas. Call 214-643-6108 or visit jcharderagency.com. That's 214-643-6108 or jcharderagency.com.
Sellers, how would you like your home sold guaranteed? Buyers, how would you like your bid guaranteed to win? Well, it's real simple. Call Mike Kruizinga with Chris Arnold Premier Realty and ask about their guarantee programs for both buyers and sellers. No one beats Mike's professional listing and marketing services for all price ranges, including luxuries and ranches. And few have the knowledge and patience to take first-time buyers from renting to home ownership in a tough market. Visit DFWMetroplexRealestate.com and mention you heard this on the radio. And listen to Mike Sundays, 8 a.m. on KLIF or Inside Real Estate.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
The only significant, among all the vitamins I changed, nothing affected cholesterol. I took this and my cholesterol dropped by 15 or 20%.
Yeah, with the acid reflux, and I have GERD and gastritis, and it really seems to be helping a lot, and my husband too. I mean, we're very happy with the product, I got to say it. It's been great, and we've seen dramatic results, so I can't say anything bad about it. We've really been happy with the product. We've been amazed with it.
There is a value in it because it has fruits and veggies, and I'm not a fruit and veggies eater, and I know this is helpful.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code DALLAS.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we're back. It's Inside Real Estate, website InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Hey, folks, in about 10 minutes, it's going to be high school sports segment, one of my favorite things that we do. So about 10 minutes, hang tight for that high school sports segment. We're going to have Coach Dyer, head coach of DeSoto basketball, calling in. So hang tight for that. Hey, we were going to do a little insurance talk, but you know what? JC couldn't make it in this morning, so we'll catch back up with him next week. I want to follow back up a little bit on what I was talking with Terry about. And for those of you buyers out there, you got to pay attention to what your situation is financially as well. And we kind of touched on it a little bit. If you're in a situation where maybe you don't have the financial resources to go, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 over list price, or maybe you're just not comfortable with that, well, guess what? That's kind of the market we're in right now. And so if you don't have either the resources to do that, then we need to be strategic about how we're going to get your financing in line, how we're going to be able to compete in this market that we're in right now. And so that may mean looking in areas that are not high demand, or it may be looking at the properties that for whatever reason the rest of the public has missed. And it may be listings that, for example, have just been mismarketed. Maybe they've got horrible photos. The listing agent maybe just did a horrible job, and that's why they've been on the market a while. May have nothing to do with the house. And a lot of times people think, hey, a property's been on the market for a while, there's got to be something wrong with it. And that's just kind of a misconception. That's not always true. Can that be the case? Sure. From time to time, that is the case, but by and large, it has nothing to do with actually the house. It's usually for one of a few reasons. One, it was either not priced right to begin with, or it was mismarketed, or it just got missed for whatever reason. Maybe it just had a bad lead picture. Its front end picture, the one that draws all the traffic, may have just been horrible. May have been too shadowy, too dark, whatever the case may be, or just had bad interior pictures, didn't have enough pictures of the kitchen, the bathrooms. And so for whatever reason, that property, maybe it's in an area that's not as in a high demand, and so it just stayed on the market for a little while longer. And so if we can find those properties that are maybe in that category, and some of these properties may be not fully updated yet, that may be why they're still on the market, because a lot of people like a fully updated property ready to go. Well, guess what? If we can get you into a property that's not quite updated and maybe actually be able to negotiate with the seller versus have to come in $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over list price, then we might actually be able to get you into a house versus you having to go another round as a renter, or maybe you being stuck in the house that you're in, because we can't sell that house and make you homeless unless you're willing to go become a renter, at least temporarily. So it's kind of a sticky issue there for a lot of folks out there. If you're in that sort of category, you're going to need to listen to us and maybe need to look at some of these properties that were missed for whatever reason. And a lot of these properties are going to be properties that are not updated. And so you'll have to definitely consider that. And look, as we talked with Terry about, we can build in that repair escrow. It doesn't take a lot of money to redo a kitchen. You'd be surprised how cheap granite is these days. And even nice looking granite is fairly reasonably priced nowadays. How reasonable it is to remodel a bathroom. You'd be surprised how far $5,000, if we did a repair escrow for you, can go. Now, of course, the repair escrow is tricky, and it may or may not work out for your situation, but there are ways to get into a home that is maybe not fully updated, and then you just work on it, as you slowly move forward in time, But that property, if it's been on the market for a little while, you might actually be able to get the seller to pay some closing costs, kind of like the old traditional buyer's market type of thing that we would see, which we don't really see much now because it's a seller's market. But, I just had a deal that was unique in that I was able to get about $12,000 in concessions from the seller for my buyer client. And in this market, a seller's market, that is really rare. We're seeing most homes go over list price by a significant amount. And we're even seeing the buyer pay for the title policy. We're even seeing the buyer pay for some of the seller's closing costs. So it's a very unique market right now. And so for you buyers that are tight as far as your financial flexibility to go over list price, you need to pay attention, listen to me, listen to Terry, and we can find you the right type of property if you're flexible and if you can see beyond the fact that maybe a home that was built, in 1990 or 2000, even in 2005, 2008, it's still dated to a degree. If you can see beyond the fact that it's a little bit dated and you may need to replace some things along the way, or just, stay as a renter. You have to decide what you want to do. Very competitive market right now. Super competitive. Well, there you go on that. Hey, let's talk a little bit of headlines real quick. Hey, Andy Beal just so happens to be the richest man in all of Dallas. And we brought him into the news a little while back. And he's back in the news again. He bought the landmark Trammell Crow estate, Highland Park estate of legendary developer Trammell Crow. Quietly changed hands. More than century-old home over there at 4500 Preston Road. And it's gone ahead and switched hands. And, of course, he also bought, as we reported to you a little while back, the Hicks estate as well. So the Hicks estate and the Trammell Crow property both going to billionaire Beal here of Dallas. That's a pretty big deal. So to see two major properties like that go to the same person, that was a pretty big deal, pretty amazing. And of course, one heck of a beautiful property too. Of course, there'll be a link to that on our Pinterest page, and you can see all the nice looking photos if you like to just kind of look at the nice real estate photos on those websites. And a lot of folks do tune into our website for that. Hey, lots of stuff going on over at Love Field area. The entire Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is growing like weeds, like wildfire. And here's a lot of stuff I got to bring to you over in the Love Field area. We've got, a lot of new apartments coming. 347-unit complex, new apartment complex coming from Fairfield Properties. They just cleared 6 acres south of Love Field around Denton and Inwood. And that's we got some new apartments coming. And, the apartment rents keep going higher and higher. And, of course, that's going to keep those rent prices going up. So we've needed some help in the rentals. And, of course, we need help in the new home builds as well. And that help has been on the way, and we've been reporting that all the time. But commercially, we're getting lots of new builds as well. We've got a new office project coming over there as well. Actually going to be the first major office project in about 30 years. It'll be the new largest building over there. That's going to be coming in over to Love Field. We've got a couple hotels coming with up to about 244 rooms, $49 million, 8-story, a couple hotels over there. Of course, the DoubleTree is getting remodeled over there off Mockingbird. Viceroy, who's remodeling the DoubleTree, they're actually have a couple other properties that they purchased and snagged up, and they're going to be redeveloping those as well. Wisteria, which owned a spot over there, is now going to be turning into the new Tesla facility. So just all kinds of work being done over there, and folks, all kinds of growth. And, ever since that Wright Amendment was taken care of, we knew all kinds of growth was going to be hitting over there big time. So just a little piece of that action. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back for high school sports segment. See you in a few.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on Homes Foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to Perma-Pure Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of Perma-Pure Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling Perma-Pure at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapure.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
The SMU Tate Lecture Series 34th season continues Tuesday, March 29th with the Omni Hotels Lecture featuring cybersecurity experts General Keith Alexander and Kevin Mandia. The sold-out lecture will be held at 8 p.m. in SMU's McFarland Auditorium. For more information, visit smu.edu/Tate. Produced by SMU, presented by the Dallas Morning News, sponsored in part by 570 KLIF News and Information, WFAA TV Channel 8, Rosewood Mansion on Turtle Creek, and Turner Construction.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. It's Inside Real Estate. Mike Kruizinga, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. And, of course, we always do a lot of sports talk as well, which is rather odd, some folks have said, but a lot of folks have said, hey, I love that when you talk sports instead of just real estate all the time. And so we appreciate that. And we're going to get into our high school sports segment. And we've got a state champion head coach, Chris Dyer of DeSoto boys basketball on the line. Let's see if he's on the line with us. Coach, you with us?
I'm still here.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you calling in, especially on a Easter Sunday morning. Thank you so much for calling in. 4-time state champion, by the way. 3 times at DeSoto, once at Oak Cliff. And really appreciate you being on the line with us.
No problem.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about a few different things, maybe talk a little bit about kind of what you've been doing over the course of your history in coaching, and, of course, what you've been doing at DeSoto. We'll maybe talk a little bit about the championship, and then talk a little bit about Marquez as well. And then, of course, sort of the interesting little bit of drama that there was, going up against a coach that you worked with in the championship as well. And let's kind of start off a little bit about, how you've been building such a strong program down there at DeSoto.
Well, I've been blessed. I've had some really good people around me, players, coaches. This year I was able to have 3 of my ex-players as coaches, so that helped quite a bit. Coach Golden's been with me for 18 years. Coach Pinchback's been with me like 7 or 8. So I really have a great support system. Our assistant principals, our other coaches in other sports, they've really taken up the slack a lot of times when I'm not able to do my duty or take care of certain things in practice even.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you always have to have a strong team around you, and the greatest coaches and greatest managers always know that secret to life, and that's surround yourself by strong individuals and ones that can be a part of the fight.
Yeah, you're only as good as the people around you, and I'm very blessed.
Absolutely. Well, you had one heck of a season. Only 2 losses, And you even broke 100 a couple times this year, and by and large, looking at all the scores, you pretty much handled most everybody pretty well. The Grand Prairie game was a loss, and then a tough win on the next go round. But by and large, handled everybody pretty well this year.
Well, I like to think that we're probably in the toughest district in the state, with South and Grand and Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Mansfield, Midlothian, and you have some great coaches, and the kids all know each other, and there's nothing too much hidden. But when you have the two teams in the same district in the regional final, that tells you how tough your district is.
Yeah, absolutely, it sure does, no doubt about it. What did you learn in those? You kind of ran through a lot of people. I mean, you're beating people by 50, 60 points. And once you kind of got that first loss, was it a wake-up call at all?
Oh, yes. It was a wake-up call more for the kids and for myself. They just realized that, you just can't show up. You got to have preparation, and mentally you got to be ready to go. And, if you don't give it your best, then, in this day and age, especially with all the kids that are out there and all the good coaches, it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a close game. I mean, it was only a 4-point loss to Mesquite, and then it started to look like things started to tighten up a little bit, and then you guys kind of broke away again, and then there was a close loss with South Grand Prairie, just a 5-point loss as well, but definitely the wake up call, but by and large, he really handled everybody pretty strongly.
Well, it didn't seem like it at the time, to be honest with you. And, a lot of times when you're coaching, you don't really look at the score. You just kind of look at your personnel. You try to get your kids in. You just try to be efficient in what you do. And, a lot of times I didn't even realize what the score was, to be honest with you.
Right. It's just the win at the end of the night or the loss, and then prepping for the next game. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, and I know sometimes coaches hate to talk about just, one player sometimes, and, because look, basketball, just like football, like any sport, is a team effort, and it's about every player on the floor and every player sitting on the bench supporting those that are on the floor. And but I would like to talk a little bit about Marquez Bolden, your big-time senior center, and happened to be Sports Day Player of the Year, and heck of a ball player. And one of the things that kind of really struck me about his stats for this past year was he was really strong from the line, 80%. And tell me a little bit about this guy.
Well, Marquise is a great kid. First of all, he's very humble, very appreciative. He's come such a long way. He's been in DeSoto all his life. Some of his grade school teachers I know real well. He played for Coach Pinchback in 6th grade at McCowan Middle School. He's definitely a self-made player. I mean, he has worked very, very hard. He's the type of kid that, he's just great to be around because he'll come up to you every day. Coach, how am I doing? Are we going hard? Are we getting something out of this? And all you have to do is say, no, you guys aren't going hard, and he'll start running harder or playing harder. Or, he's just a good kid. He really is. He's very low key about himself, and he doesn't want to disappoint anyone. He's just a good kid. He really is.
Well, yeah, that's kind of rare in this day and age because a lot of times if you have a good ball player, it kind of goes to their head a little bit, and to have a ball player that it doesn't go to their head and they actually have an awareness about themselves and awareness about how they can help the teammates and an awareness to be able to have discussions with the coach. That's kind of a rare thing, is it?
It is. When he was a sophomore, he didn't hardly say 2 words. And by the time he was a senior, we couldn't get him out of the coach's office. He wanted to sit down and just talk to everybody. And finally, he'd say, Marquise, just go get dressed. We got to practice. Go get dressed.
Right. Well, that's a great thing, and hopefully he keeps it that way and has that great awareness and doesn't let it go to his head. We love to see these ball players that do well and but keep just themselves in it and not kind of become the hype around it.
Well, the thing about Marquise is he's a great teammate. I mean, all those kids, all the kids we have, all the seniors and underclassmen, they grew up together. And, you know, that's one thing about him making his announcement. He just did not want anything to interfere with his teammates. You know, all he wanted to do was be a high school student and play with his best friends. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and a guy that understands that and understands the mission that you guys were on, and the fact that he knew that, you know, he could have maybe overshadowed that a bit by making an announcement, and the fact that he did that. I mean, that just speaks to the type of man that he is, and what a great ball player is, what a great teammate he is. By the way, we're talking about Marquise Bolden, the center for DeSoto, averaged over 23 points, over 10 rebounds, over 2 blocks, nearly 3 blocks a game this season, and shot about 80% from the line. And of course, for a center, you know, you've got to do well at the line, because you know what, hack a Shack, you're gonna go to the line a lot, and so that 80% at the line, that's actually probably one of the more impressive stats, because you really need that.
Well, last year we kind of rode him kind of hard about his free throws, his inconsistency, and he worked on it last spring and this summer quite a bit. We kind of broke down some things that he was doing, and tried to show him the way that Dirk Nowitzki, because they're about the same size, how he shoots it, and the way he's able to flex his lower body and use that as a follow through mechanism. And you know, he really worked hard at it, and every day in practice we would shoot 100 free throws, and he'd always be in the 80 to 90% range. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, you got to work on those mechanics, and of course, once you kind of get that down, you know, then as long as you maintain that along the way, then you're good to go. Yeah, I saw a lot of his tape, and great ball player, and you can kind of see by the way he carries himself that the way you're describing him is just great, and hope he keeps that with him as he moves on to college, and best wishes for him, of course. Well, let's talk a little bit about the championship game, and of course, congratulations on the win, the state win, and I do believe this is your 3rd win with DeSoto and your 4th, because you had one down at Oak Cliff, and so big congratulations on that. And but this one may be a little bit bittersweet, because you had to go up against your old assistant coach.
Well, I'm at his house right now. His 2 kids are our godchildren, and we come down for Easter every year. So I'm down in Humboldt, Tascasita right now. That tells you a little bit.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So good friends as well, and so going up against each other probably had to be pretty hard, but you know, who else would you want to see? I mean, of course, you want to see your good friend in the big game as well, and so kind of a great thing that, hey, we're both here, but you know, bad thing, one of us has got to win, one of us has got to lose.
Well, he was better about it than I was, because you know, once that ball goes up, I don't care if he and I are playing one-on-one or coaching. I mean, we're very much alike. When that ball goes up, we're going to do what's best for our kids, and we're going to compete, and we want our kids to compete. And but when it was over, it was very bittersweet. You know, we talk every day. He's one of my best friends. His 2 kids are our godchildren. I can't tell you how much closer we can be than that, but
right.
You know, he really kept me going this year. We had some things that occurred to us this year that I didn't know if I'd be able to keep coaching, and he would call me and kind of pep me up and, you know, keep me going, to be honest with you.
Wow. Yeah, just a great relationship, and that was the first time he made it to the big game as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, it's got to be a great feeling, I would think, for him, and maybe we'll be able to talk to him down the line that, you know, when he does make it, you know, to the big game, that he's going up against, you know, head coach he's worked with, and of course such a great friend and a family friend like you as well. Now, is there since you guys know each other's coaching styles so well, were you able to better prepare your teams for each other?
Well, you only have one day, but, we kept talking, down the road. Hey, wouldn't that be something if we met down there? And, the day that we found out who we were playing from the UIL that Sunday, he called me at my house, and his wife and his daughter were still up in Dallas, and they were at my house. So his daughter answered the phone when he called.
That's hilarious.
The bad thing is, I showed him a few years ago one of the stuff that we run. He runs it better than us. I told him the other day, I said, we put in secondary, and you guys run it better than we do.
You stole it.
Well, we trade so much, and the one thing about coaching is no one ever invents something new. You reclaim it and
recycle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
just recycle it. You didn't have one of those sneak plays, one of those throw-in plays, and he knew about it, or you knew about his, or anything like that.
Well, we kind of, there's so much film out there these days. You can watch everybody so much, and
right.
I'd send him film on us from people that he was having to play, and he'd send us film on people that we were going to have to play, because there's a lot of people that you have to, even though they're in Houston or we're in the Dallas area, there's a lot of people that you end up playing the same. So
yeah, absolutely. And by the way, folks, we're talking with head coach of DeSoto boys basketball, Chris Dyer, and talking about his good friend and former assistant coach, David Martinez, who is head coach of who they played in the state championship final, Humble Escocita, and great story with the two of you, and great championship, and actually a great run, by both teams, throughout the season. And we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on you guys next season as well, and I'm sure there's going to be great things coming from you as well. I think you've racked up over 650 wins now. I think is that about right?
I think so. You're just as good as your next one, so that's all we look forward to.
Right. It's just, what did you do for me lately, right?
Exactly.
Well, talk about somebody who is humble as pie. Look, we're talking about a 4-time state champion right here. Been in the business of coaching darn near, 3 decades almost. Over some 650-odd wins. Folks, that's a heck of a career. Just 2 losses this year, state champions of DeSoto. Head coach Chris Dyer, hey, thank you so much for calling in this morning and being on the high school sports segment. We really appreciate it. And say hello to your friend David over there for us as well. And a great congratulations to him on a great season with his team as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you guys do for high school sports in the Metroplex.
Hey, thank you, Coach. And, hey, thank you so much for calling in on Easter. And have a great Easter Sunday. Best to you and your family. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Folks, that was a high school sports segment. We were talking with Coach Chris Dyer of DeSoto, and we really appreciate him calling in on an Easter Sunday. And, hey, folks, we're going to have more high school sports next week as well. Folks, guess what? It's Inside Real Estate News, Sports, and Entertainment. Hey, we'll see you next week. We're out of here. Attention real estate agents. The Snap platform, that's Snap, S-N-A-P-P, Snap, allows real estate agents to have their own branded and native mobile app available for download in both Apple and Android formats. It's not a matter of if or when, folks. The mobile revolution is here. If you aren't catering to it, you're sinking fast. It's a proven fact that people use mobile apps 66% more than mobile websites or desktop browsers, and that percentage increases even more when you're looking at home buyers that are in the searching process. Picture this. You've got a great conversation with a potential home buyer who hasn't yet agreed to work with you exclusively. You don't have your own branded mobile app yet, so you give the prospect your website. and they're going to use that when they want to search for available properties. The next day, that potential client is out and about, and they want to see what's for sale nearby. They aren't using their laptop. They are on their mobile devices. They visit your website only to realize it's not a user-friendly mobile site as some of the real estate apps they've already tried. Your website may even offer that mobile version, but it lacks vital GPS functionality and other features that need to be available to the home buyer when they're looking in the mobile process. Being left with no other option, the person turns to a third-party advertising app such as Zillow or Trulia. They find a property they like and end up connecting with another agent through that app. End of story, end of opportunity. You just lost that potential client because you did not have a mobile app. The point is, having your own app is as crucial as having a website has been for years. Don't stop advertising with other apps because that can be an effective way to generate great leads. However, for any prospect with whom you're already interacting, whether it's a referral, a friend, a lead from a various lead source, your website, or anywhere else, do yourself and the home buyer a favor. Give them the mobile experience that they demand. Otherwise, they will find it somewhere else. Bottom line, you need your own app to sell more homes and to stay afloat in this crazy real estate world full of new technologies and apps. Snap makes it all easier and cheaper with their platform. Set up your real estate app today. Visit snaprealestate.com. That's snap with 2 P's. Snaprealestate.com for all your real estate app needs. Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga are attorneys, CPAs, tax advisors, or investment advisors, and are not providing legal advice during the course of the show. If you need professional legal advice or services in any of those categories, please seek the appropriate professional. The host is a licensed real estate agent in Texas, 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 a licensed real estate